Hello, everyone. We are officially live. Welcome to another Learning Sound and Synthesis Spotlight Series interview. I'm here today with Lauren Korba. Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
I'm happy to have you here. So Lauren joined Learning Sound and Synthesis, I think, earlier in 2023, if I remember correctly. Although time is just such a blur. I don't
I
know.
think it was 2022.
Earlier in 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Screwed up already. And we're here today to just hear a little bit more about your journey learning synthesis, expanding your creative practice into new different areas, which we're going to get into in a moment, beyond sound, which is really exciting. And generally just to hear about kind of how you have been approaching building yourself a creative practice that brings you joy and feels inspiring, and balancing that with the rest of life and all of the things that come up. So I'm really happy to have you here. For those of you who are tuning in live, go ahead and drop a little hello or a comment in the comments. It's always nice to see that you're here live. And if you're watching the replay after the fact, we will still see your comments. So you can comment replay and let us know that you're tuning in, and we will say hi to you in the future. All right, so let's just start with a little intro. Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you like to do?
Sure. My name's Lauren, obviously, and I found synthesis. I just started to make music again, which is something I've always enjoyed doing, but since having a kid, I just stopped. And then with having a kid, I started picking up the guitar again and just playing, and it just sparked that back in me, and I felt like I needed to get back into it. It's just something I had to do, and I can't believe I wasn't doing it anymore. So with my son and just in general, and so I got a computer and I got a keyboard, and I somehow found modular synthesis, and it just drew me in, and I never looked back, and I love it so much. But that's what I've been doing. I don't know. I can't get enough of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've always felt that you have such a just passion for everything that you're doing, and it's so invigorating. I just want to say to see and to be near someone who feels that way about what they're doing. It's contagious. And so I want to thank you for just, being yourself, because it rubs off on the other people in the learning sound and synthesis community, and I get to benefit from it as well, and get a little extra inspiration whenever I see yours.
I feel the same about you.
Oh, yay. Oh, that's good. So you stumbled across, the world of synthesis in a kind of unknown way. That seems to happen to a lot of people. It's like they just find their way there, on forums or on the internet or somehow. What was that process like for you after you were like, okay, I'm hooked, I'm learning this? Like, what did you do first?
I bought a Moog workstat, and that was what I got so excited that when I pressed the purchase, I just couldn't wait for it to come, and I felt like a kid, and it was so exciting. And then every time, I don't know, it just that's what started it all. And then the hardware idea of it all, and turning dials and patching things and changing circuitry to make noises and finding noises, and just the whole liveliness of it, that you are working with something else that kind of creates with you. And I don't know, that just really is fun for me, because I never am not inspired. There's never a time where I sit down and I'm like, this sucks. It's just always fun, which with guitar I did feel like that sometimes.
Oh, interesting. So what do you think? I'm really curious. Where do you think that comes from? Is it just because it's like a different way of interacting with sound, or it's new to you? Is it the process of discovery, or something else?
It's the adventure of it. The idea that I can make a move and it could take me in this whole new direction, and that I don't have to think. I could just play and try things. And I know enough now from learning from your course and just learning the the language and the basics of all of it to know what different things do. So I know I have a general sense of all of it now.
Right.
And so it's not as like, what will this do? But it's actually more fun that I know more, because now I can explore deeper, but it always just like provides. I don't know. It always like shows something new, and it's just like it's like going on an adventure. I love going on trips and going to different countries, and it feels like that.
Oh, yeah, I love that so much. So, something that I share with people on the very first kind of introduction and orientation call in learning sound and synthesis is just this idea of adopting a beginner's mindset. This is something we've talked about in these interviews before too, just because it's so enriching and so powerful. And I think what you're talking about is like the epitome of a beginner's mindset, where you're like, it always provides, maybe it was like not at all what I thought was going to happen when I turned that knob, but you're like delighted by the response, as opposed to something that I even catch myself doing sometimes. And I know it's common to be like, dang, that's not what I wanted. Like I failed, or I don't get it. That means something's wrong, as opposed to just like, ooh, how fascinating and unexpected. Like, let's take that next left turn again and see what else we find.
Yeah. And even if it does sound like funny, and then just finding that like tuning where you just come to this place where you're like, where it just feels good. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, there it is. So there's all that time where it doesn't really, where it can not feel so great, but then just finding my way to that point. And then adding the next thing to it. Then once I'm in that mode, it's just like a playground.
I love that. Yeah. So sticking with the unexpected things a little bit long enough to just, tune them until they start to work. Simple, but a good reminder. So I'm curious, we talked a lot about how you found synthesis and then you were hooked and you just kind of jumped right in, and it's like, sounds like a very positive experience. Did you have any, are there any challenges that maybe you had to overcome when you were first getting into it, or now? Yeah. Can you speak a little bit to one or two of those?
I mean, they're not like just good challenges of like learning. Like I had to learn how to learn again, and I didn't know how to learn, because it's not something that like the music comes naturally to me, and the feeling of it, the instinct comes naturally, but the learning, the technical learning doesn't come naturally. So much reading and over reading and watching your videos like a few times to just get it, or I'd start thinking of other things. I'm like, focus. I just really wanted to learn it, but I was like, forgot how to learn. So that was challenging. But now I feel like when I get it, because every time you get a new instrument of these, you have to completely learn it. Like you don't know what is happening. And because I got the tracker too, the Polyand Tracker Mini for field stuff. And I was like, what? But by the time I got that, I was so used to learning that I just took it one step at a time, and I feel like I've learned how to learn. So that was a challenge.
Is there anything in particular that you can share that you do now to help you learn things that you weren't doing? Does that make sense what I'm trying to ask?
Okay. I stopped having an expectation that I had to learn it fast.
Ooh, I love that.
And I just learned stuff, like I really open up, and you taught me that, because you always say, just go through this course as slow or as fast as you need to. There's no time limit. And so at first I was like, what the heck? I need to learn this now. Like, why is she saying that? And then it started to really sink in. And then I was like, oh, this is the best, because you don't have to learn it fast. It's a lifetime thing, I'm never going to, I feel like I'm never going to stop doing this, and there's always so much to learn, and it's never boring. And so when I approach any instrument, I just start from the beginning, and I don't have a time limit or an expectation to even learn it to its fullest, because you can, all of a sudden you click, you're like, I know this enough now to just play, and then,
those are both so good. Yeah.
So it's not like daunting anymore, where it was before.
That's awesome. Okay, so not releasing the expectation of learning something fast, like taking the timeline away from it,
Yeah,
is so freeing. I love that you
it
said that.
is. Yeah.
It's like, it's okay. It might take me 5 minutes. It might take me 5 years. From
Yeah.
my perspective, especially in music, like, I wanna be learning forever.
Yeah,
If
me
I
too.
imagine a day, if I think about it, like, what would it be like to wake up one day and be like, "I know everything there is to know about music." First of all, that will never happen, but let's just
That's
say
ugh,
that would
that
be
sounds
a
terrible.
bad
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Sounds
Right.
boring.
Right. And yet, like, we can acknowledge that on the one side, but then on the other side, we can put so much pressure on ourselves to be like,
Yeah.
why am I not getting this faster? Like,
Yeah.
fast enough, right? So
Mhm.
that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I love that. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? You've made so much progress.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about uh maybe one or two of the things that you're maybe most proud of or most excited about that you've accomplished? It could be tangible, or it could just be about learning how to learn, mindset related stuff.
Yeah, well, we in the beginning we talked about how do you not make like one long song that runs for like 2 days? And how do I have like a beginning and an end and stuff? And so you gave me
Sure.
this structure of like do a 3 to 5 minute piece and stop it. And then I thought, well, how can I do that? And then I thought, well, video, if I take a video and use that as my structure and then play the music within that structure. And so it has a beginning and an end, then that will be how I make songs. And so I started with one piece and it worked out really well. And now I've got like 12 up on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I can't stop. It's like so inspiring because it makes me look at the world so much clearer, and I just look for things to appreciate, and I look for things to enjoy and want to capture to share that would inspire music, and vice versa. I'll make music, and then I'm like, what does that sound like? Oh, it sounds like this. I'm gonna go and get that, or something happens like a first snow. The last one was I made a song. So I came down to my studio and I pretended I was working. I was like, oh, I gotta go to work and I'm gonna make this song now. Yes, I did
I love
that.
it.
And then I made this song and it was so fun. And then the next day I woke up and it was snowing. And then I thought, oh, the first snow is so cool. There's no footprints, there's nothing. It's just like, and then if the sun comes up and sparkles the snow, I want to get all this. And then by noon it'll be gone because the sun is so hot here. And so I did that. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have these videos or this music. I probably just would have woke up and was like, "Oh, where's my coffee?" and had my coffee.
Right.
You know?
So it's just giving you these opportunities to pause, and it's almost like putting a frame on a moment that otherwise might be totally mundane,
Yeah.
um, or might pass you by without noticing, and just saying, I'm going to put a frame on that, either by recording the sound, recording the video, and
Yeah.
just saying, by pausing and like capturing this or recording this, it's like a significant thing to you that
Yeah.
you really get to appreciate. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of your videos, I have one queued up to share with people, if that's okay. I think this is a perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
So do you want to say anything about this before I play?
Sure. This is one of my favorite places. We have a family cabin, and we just go there to relax. And it always also provides a relaxing spot, no internet, nothing. And so I just get inspired there, and I wrote a poem while I was sitting there, and everything, like I wrote the poem in the exact moment that I took these videos. So it's it just everything was perfect timing.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's take a look and a listen. This is Aspen Rain. I'm going to pull it up here.
peaceful presence. Sitting in the stillness, enjoying the steady stream of melted snow coming from the mountaintops. The wind blows a sudden golden aspen rain. Leaves descend into the stream, taken by the current, over mossy rocks, swirling in and out of coves. Some fall to the humus in the understory, destined to repurpose as nutrient-rich soil. A crisp chill brings in autumn, welcoming a beautiful display of change and a subtle discomfort preparing for winter. Relaxing into the transitional flow of nature. Stoic formations grounded in earth, holding space for more animated occurrences. New trees blow wild in the wind, building strength to eventually hold their stoic ground, providing oxygen, removing carbon. Symbiotic relationships generating harmony, abundance, balance, teaching and healing, and thriving in a cyclic rhythm of unplanned infinity.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's beautiful. I could really feel all of that kind of wonder and let me just change there we go. All of that wonder and feelings of just finding inspiration that we've been talking about,
Yeah.
lying under the tree and seeing the leaves fall. So can you share a little bit about musically what was going on and how you created that?
Yeah, I used the Moog, the Sound Studio 3. So I had the DFM, the subharmonica, and the Mother 32. And I generally start with one of them, and it leads to the next one. Sometimes I use two of them, sometimes three. I don't remember exactly what I used for that, but I also use the Mavis to, I think, and like with the LFO and the sample and hold and all the utility on the Mavis, I can bring more animation to the DFAM or any of them. And so I think those pingings in there that would come in and out louder and softer, I think it was from the Mavis and the DFAM.
Nice.
And then I just try to fill in the space and just get as many textures as I can. And then after that I brought the Hydrosynth in. So then I just play. I don't really have any piano experience. I just kind of feel it out and play it. Yeah.
It's clearly working.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, that's just something I want to just comment on for anyone who might be watching. It's okay to not have formal experience or training in something. It's okay.
It's almost better, to be honest.
Sometimes it is a lot better because you don't have the whatever it might be, like you don't feel like it's supposed to be a certain way. So you just do it.
Yeah.
It's also okay if you do,
Yeah.
that's also
of course.
fine.
Yeah.
But my point is just do it anyway. Like if you're like, ooh, I wonder what would happen if I just tried this. Like, yes, that's all you need. That's all you need.
That's all of it. Yeah. That's all of it. Try this. Oops. Try this.
That is. And I just think that comes through so strongly in what you do, Lauren. So it's just wonderful.
It is freeing. Like all of it's very freeing. I've been very structured with things, but I was a stage manager. Like everything's very structured. I build structure, and so I feel like this is just like the missing link of my life was just this freedom to create and to feel and to intuit and to just let go of that security of structure, and then it just becomes structured on its own. Like I almost don't have to put so much effort into building the structure as long as the structure on I like that there's a theme on my YouTube videos where it's like a video, like something that I love or that has inspired me, and then just putting music to it. So that is the structure, and that's
right.
It.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
A simple structure.
Yeah, it's like your videos. Yeah, just as a structure, you could call it almost like a moving score if you wanted to, but it's just like it's a way to almost just get started and to not have it be like totally open and like anything's possible. You say, okay, well, here's my video. This is my little container.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to respond with this in any way.
And there's no oppression in it at all. Like there's no there's no expectation. There's no oppressive feelings or I have to do it anyway. It's just, that inspires me. Oh, I can do 3 to 5 minutes of something here. And then,
I love that so much. Yeah. So I'm curious to ask you, if you could maybe think about someone who might be watching now or in the future, who's like, wow, this sounds awesome. Like modular synth stuff, synthesis, like music making. I want to do that. Maybe they've known they want to do it for a long time, but sometimes, getting started in something new can be really intimidating. We both know that, or at least I certainly know, the world of modular synthesis can be really intimidating. I definitely, when I was learning, struggled with a lot of feelings of just like, oh my God, I am maybe not technical enough for this, or like, I already feel behind and I haven't even started. So do you have anything that you might say, any maybe advice or just encouragement or anything that you would want to offer to that person?
Yeah, I
overwhelmed.
I definitely think if anybody feels inclined to be creative in any way, do it. Do not do it. Do it. There, like anything, like if you just open up the channel, and start somewhere, even if it's like writing in a journal or taking a picture or anything. And even with modular, it's VCV rack is free. Like you just need a computers, and everybody generally has one. So, and you have that free class if anybody wanted to start. You know, it's like there's you know, you could just do it.
Yeah.
But I just think that exploring and trying, just try something. But nobody should not. I mean, if you have a creative need, you have to do it. It's your obligate. It's your you have to do it. Like life requires you to do it. Don't not do it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Just go for it. Yeah, I love that so much.
Anything. Because
And
because I think for so many years I felt like I couldn't, because I shouldn't be doing this. I have to make money, or I have to do this, or you know. And I kept putting it aside and kept putting it aside, and it was so detrimental to my health and well-being. Like personally, I need this. This is like therapy for me. This is like part of my fabric. It's who I am, and the fact that I neglected it for so long is sad to me. And so I don't want anybody to ever feel like they can't do it for whatever reason. You can do it, and you always have a time to do it. So
that's what I was going to ask, is one of the biggest things is time. It's like, oh my God, it's going to take me so much time to learn this. And then I'm not even going to be able to make music until I take all this time to learn the technical. Can you talk a little bit about like your experience there?
Yeah, you don't have to learn it all to do it. And you taught me that too. Is like just start doing it. And I don't know half of what's going on here still.
Right.
You know, but the more you try and the more you do, the more I'll start to think like that. Like, oh, if I patch this into this, I know this is going to happen. And you know, I just started thinking like intentional patching.
Right.
But before I didn't know I just did it. I didn't have to learn it, and I barely had to learn it. And these are out of the box, like all the semi-modular, you can just start playing them.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm finally ready after 2 years to start the Eurorack build, but I wasn't ready at all before.
So it's funny. It takes, you know, we talked earlier about how it's a lifelong learning process.
Yeah.
And we don't want to rush ourselves. But at the same time, what I'm hearing you say, and I can relate to this totally, is that it also takes a lot less time than you think in order to get started and start making music.
Yeah. Just get out of your own way.
Yes. You don't need the PhD in electrical engineering in order to turn one of those synths on and make something that will bring you joy and feel, you know, just fun.
Yeah.
So I just want to drop in the chat. You mentioned the free class. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Soundandsynthesis.com. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Soundandsynthesis.com/first patch 2022. That's also up on the screen. If you go there, if you're curious about getting started, that's a completely free class. It will walk you step by step through what modular synthesis even is, how it works, how to make your first few sounds from scratch. And it uses, I'm going to put this in the chat as well, it uses a free program called VCV Rack, which I use in all of my classes. It's phenomenal. I'm not like, you know, sponsored by them. I'm just a big fan. It's free. You can download it and use it on your computer. And there's thousands of sound generators and ways of manipulating sound and processing sound that you can get for free. So it's an amazing way to start.
It's crazy how free it is.
It is. I know. Thank you, VCV Rack, if you're listening. We love you. So is there anything anything that you want to share, Lauren, before we wrap up?
Oh, I have to say that your forum, so when you do sign up for the Learning Sound and Synthesis course, you get access to the forum and the community. And I've been in other communities, and this community is like top notch. Like, I swear, I don't think I'd be able to do this without this community. It's my everyday anchor. And anything I ever need to ask or anything, I could just go in there and feel safe and supported, and everybody's got an answer. I mean, it's just awesome. I can't believe it. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm so happy to hear that. The community it means a lot to us. And we, you know, all of you who are in the community are what make it so insanely special. So thank you for being part of it. And, you know, learning something new is vulnerable. And we ask people to trust that it's a supportive space and they can be vulnerable and they can share stuff that is messy and imperfect. And that's the best way to learn. And it really is. And so thank you for showing up in that way yourself, Lauren, in the community.
For sure.
Is there anything in particular that, you've probably already answered this, but any way in particular that you use the community that you find most helpful in your learning process?
My commitment to myself is that every day I'm learning. I do something towards synthesis, something towards learning it, something I play something, anything. And if I have done nothing, I just jump into the forum and learn something from somebody. So I don't know. I mean, is that what you asked me? I forgot the question.
Yeah, totally. I was just curious to see if there was something in particular that some way you were using the forum or that was helping you. And I mean, I think you answered it.
I've made friends in there and we have some direct messages that we love. I mean, it's just so cool. I don't know. I just love it. I'm just so happy about it. Cause I honestly, it's like, this is so niche. You start talking to people about synthesis and they start blinking and they can't, they don't even know what you're saying. And you're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
And so at least in here, it's like this like-minded, we're all obsessed. And it's just, there's like other things in there where like inspiration and there's funny things. And I don't know, it's just like a whole world of joy and synthesis.
Yes, indeed. Oh, I couldn't have said that better. It's a whole world of joy and synthesis. All right, awesome. Well, I'm going to put one more link in the chat here. I'm also going to put it up on the screen. It is a link to soundandsynthesis.com. That's the waitlist for learning sound and synthesis, which is the class that Lauren and I have been talking about. If you're brand new to this and you're not sure if it's for you, I think the right place to start is with the free class. That way, try it out, see if you like it, see where it leads you. You can also send me a message anytime with questions. If you just want to ask more about modular synthesis or anything, I'm happy to help. If you are like, heck yes, I want to learn this. I want to go deep into it. I want to be in that community. This is the place to sign up for the waitlist. The next round of learning sound and synthesis is going to open in mid-February of 2024. So we're really excited to welcome in a new cohort. And everyone who's in the class, like Lauren and everyone else, you are always welcome to come back. That's part of the take your time. It's your own journey. So you're welcome to come back and continue to be in the forum for as long as you want to be, and just go back through the class again in the future with the next cohort.
Yeah, that's really fun that you can go, because I was in coaching calls from the last one. Like if I can make a coaching call, I just go because it's so inspiring.
Yeah. And it makes it all the stronger, having folks return with more perspectives to share.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for this beautiful talk. There's a lot of love coming in on the chat. I'm just going to share this one because I think this is really great. Hits on many levels of emotions and pulls you in.
That's my wife.
That was in response to your beautiful video. So thank you again for sharing.
She made it in.
Yes. All right. I'll talk to you, Lauren, soon, and everyone else for tuning in. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you at the next Spotlight interview. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.